Welcome to the study guide. R, S, 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 S. Okay, here we go. Sketchy special segment. I already did it. We have a median right here. The definition of median has to go through the vertex right there. And it has to cut the other side in half. These are called congruency marks. That's not funny, but they are congruency marks. This right here is a vertex, and it's perpendicular. So the altitude has to go through the vertex. A perpendicular bisector does not need to go through the vertex. It is perpendicular, and it bisects. Again, these are congruency marks. And this one also goes through the vertex, the angle bisector. So that's 1, 2, 3 that go through the vertex of a triangle. The only one that does not have to would be the perpendicular bisector, which helps us answer this question. Which of the following may not contain a vertex? That would be the perpendicular bisector. Let's move on. 4 through 7 state whether it is true or false. Remember, if you say a statement is true, that means it's always true. False, then it's why is it false with a counter. Every triangle has 3 medians. This is true. That doesn't mean they have to be drawn, but we could draw a median for each one. That is definitely true. AM is the altitude of ABC, then AM is also the median. That is not true. False. Here's a prime example. Here's our counter example. I'll call it CE. Okay. If we had a triangle that looked like this, the altitude would be right here. But did that cut this segment into 2 congruent pieces? No siree. So that's my counter example. False. Each leg of a right triangle is an altitude. That is actually always true. This is not a counter example, but an example. This right here is a leg, and it is an altitude. It goes from a vertex, and it's perpendicular. And our other leg is also an altitude. It is perpendicular and goes from a vertex. The third side is called the hypotenuse, which we all know is a pretty funny name. 3 angle bisectors of a triangle intersect at a point outside the triangle. Well, if we think about it, we have our nice little graph here. I don't know if you can kind of see it here, but 3 angle bisectors make up the incenter. The incenter is always going to be inside the triangle. So that is not true. That is false. Okay, the counterexample. Incenter, always inside triangle. All right. Sorry, I was a little off key on that one. Okay. Number 8. Triangle ABC is the big triangle out here. Angle ABC. ABC is 76. So this whole angle here is 76. Angle C is 40. If BP bisects ABC and BQ is an altitude, there's the altitude right there. What is the measure of each of the following angles? So I'm going to use different colors to help me find each of these. PBC. PBC is going to be right here. Well, PB is a bisector, so it's going to be half of 76. So we take 1/2 times 76, and that's going to be 37. No, 38. Yeah? Perfect. Let's find CAB. CAB is this angle here. Well, if I know the full angle is 76, I can do 76 plus 40 plus x is going to equal 180. And so we can use our calculator to find that, which I'll do real quick. 76 plus 40, and subtract from 180, and we get 64 degrees. And then QBA. QBA is this angle right here. Well, if I know 64, I know 90, I can find the green angle by adding all those up, setting equal to 90. So we get 64 plus 90 plus x equals 180. And we go ahead and add those all together. 64 plus 90, subtract from 180, and we're going to get 26 as our final answer. Okay? And that's the first page. Yeah. 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 All right, yeah. Cool, good stuff. Great stuff there, guys. Number 9. Refer to the diagram. EG is a median. If it's a median, we know it's cutting this into 2 congruent pieces. Okay? So that means we can solve for x by setting these 2 congruent to each other. So we are going to go ahead and do that. 8x minus 17 equals 3x plus 3. I'm going to move the 3x over here to make 5x. Add 17 over here to make 20. X is going to equal 4. And all it had me do was find x, so we're good to go. Now, what if EG was an altitude? In that case, this would be a 90 degree. So all we have to do is set 15y minus 30 equal to 90. Add the 30 over, and we're going to get 120. Divide by 15, and y is going to equal 8. That's my voice when I was in middle school. That was a bad joke. That's why it's a joke. Okay, moving on. Number 11. If YW is an angle bisector, which of the following is true? YWZ is a right angle? Yeah, right. Okay, it could be, but it's not necessarily true. Would segments be congruent if we have an angle bisector? Heck no. Heck no. No way. But X, Y, W, yes, would be equal to Z, Y, W. Yes, it would bisect an angle because that's what it's called, an angle bisector. Very good. All right, W, Y is an altitude. Well, altitudes make right angles, so I'm kind of assuming these ones are going to be wrong. And yes, YWZ right here, this angle would be 90 degrees. Excellent. YW is a median. Medians don't do anything to angles, so those two are out. So it's going to be one of these two. Well, I know it splits this segment in half, so I'm guessing XW and WZ are congruent versus these lines, so that would be true. And that one would not. And YW is the perpendicular bisector, which is the following true. Well, it would make a right angle, and it would set that up, and there's a lot of dings going on. Okay. So actually, both of these would be true because it not only is perpendicular, which would match with A, but it also bisects, which matches with B, so we say A and B are both correct. All right, let's identify the largest angle here. Is it true that we could just kind of look at, see which one of these is the largest side? This is x plus 5, so that's going to be our first place winner. This is going to be our second place winner, and this is our third place winner. So to find the largest angle, I start on the largest side, put my fingers on the endpoint, and go down to angle A. And then we go to our next largest side here, put our fingers on the endpoint, go to the opposite angle, which is C, which means the only one left is angle B. So remember, the larger the opposite side, the larger the opposite angle. Okay. Boom. Identify the longest side. Well, I have 65, 55. Let's add those two together. I don't know why I'm doing a calculator with this. I could do this in my head. But, you know, whatever. It's 60. All right, so the longest, or largest angle is here, second largest, and third largest. Put my fingers on the angle. So the segment that's opposite from it is CB, which is the name of my dog. Cuddlebug. Okay, apparently my crowd died. I'm going to count to 3. 1, 2, 3. What's up? All right. So we got CB is the longest side. Make sure you always read what you're finding. We're definitely finding the longest. From here, we're going to go to the second, and we get AB as our next longest side. And the shortest side is opposite angle B, which is AC. We cannot live out without air conditioning. All right, there you go. Boom. All right, and that's that page. All right, moving on. How long is this study guide? Holy cow. All right, RST. We have angle RST. List aside from shortest Two longest. Find x and measure all the angles. All right, so here we go. First, let's draw the triangle. Oh, by the way, star this one. That's definitely going to be on the test. What's up? Okay. If I know all the angles, that means they're all going to add up to 180. Because all three angles of a triangle add up to 180. We have x, and 3x. That makes 5x. 5 plus 10 is 15. Minus 35, that's going to be negative 20. Add the 20, we get 5x equals 200. And x is going to equal 40, I believe. Is that correct? Yeah. Okay, so I found 40. Now I got to plug it back in for each. R is going to be 40 plus 10, so that's 50. S is going to be 40 plus 5, which is 45. And this is going to be, well, that's just the leftover, right? So I have 95 already, so this means this has to be 85. I'm going to go from longest to shortest, so RS is our longest, which is my initials. RRSSSRS, Ryan Smith. Just in case you forgot who's making this video, I just decided to rap in my voice name. I meant my name, not my voice. Super embarrassed. Okay. All right, next we start here. We go out to ST, which is the initials of some guy. I don't know who. And then right here we have RT is our last one. That's our shortest side. So from longest to the shortest. Okay. Determine whether it is possible to draw a triangle from these given side lengths. All you have to do is add up the two small. 2 plus 3 is bigger than 6. No. 4 plus 3 is bigger than 6. Yes. 3 plus 10 is bigger than 13. Am I older than myself? No. And 9 plus 9 is bigger than 9. Yeah. So we got B and D out of that, which stands for bed and dessert. Because nothing is better than number 19. All right. Two sides of a triangle have length of 710. The length of the third side must be greater than, add them together, and subtract them. So we're going to say it's greater than 3 and less than 17. And we put them in the respective spots. Same thing with the next one. You add them together and subtract them. So we get, has to be greater than 6 or less than, 18. And we plug that in there. All right. Using the diagram below, name the segments that represent the shortest distance from B to AC. The shortest distance from point to a line is always a perpendicular segment, so it's going to be BE, also known as breaking and entering. All right, what's that? BE is also called an altitude because it goes from a vertex and it's perpendicular to the opposite side. If F is the midpoint of BF, best friends, my class dwindled down to one person, then F is the midpoint, BF would be the median. Medians go through the vertex and cut the other side in half. That is the word median if you can't read. The longest side of the entire diagram, we are looking for the longest side, which means I'm probably looking for the largest angle. Let's find all my other angles first. 62, 61, that's 123, which means subtract that. That means the other one's going to be 57. Wow, that took a long time. That was embarrassing. 65 and 55, that's going to make 120, right? Which then leaves me with 60. Okay. All right. What I recommend is cover up one triangle and say, all right, what's the biggest side of this triangle? It's going to be, kind of running out of space here. Let me move it up. That's going to be AC, right? Opposite of 65 is AC, so the largest segment in that triangle is AC. Cover this side up. What's the largest side in this triangle? CB, right here. Across from the 62 is CB. Okay. Which one's bigger? Notice AC is shared. Hint, this is going to be on the test. Notice AC is shared. So in this triangle, AC is actually smaller than CB, so we know CB is the largest. And here's a good giveaway. The diagram is not drawn to scale, right? Okay. So CB might not look bigger, but by our angle measures, it is. Even though 62 is smaller than 65, it is bigger. This means this triangle is a larger triangle. All right, we finished that page. No clapping. We don't have time. We're moving on to the exact same problem, except for we're looking for the shortest side. Add these together. What does that make? 100. So this is 80. Add those two together. That makes 140. So this is 40. Is that true? What's the smallest side over here? It would be EG. What's the smallest side over here? It would be EF. Do you notice how they share a side? Which means EF is actually smaller than EG because it's in this triangle. So EF is our answer. What's up? I did not make a joke. 23. ABC, BC, and AC list the angles in order from smallest to largest. So this time we're given the perimeter and all the sides. So we can actually go ahead and add these all together. No laughing during math, as you just laughed. Okay? What time is it real quick? Now you all know when we made this video. By the way, I look like a lumberjack today. I made this leather strap though. Isn't that cool? Yeah.
Actually?
Yeah. I'm not really a lumberjack. I'm a leather jack.
Pretty cool.
Actually, I'm a leathersmith.
That was actually funny.
Yeah, I didn't even make you laugh on command.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have said that out loud. All right, moving on. X, 2x, 3x. Add those two together, or three together. We get 6x. 20 plus 25 minus 18. That's going to give me what? Plus 7. Subtract the 7, we get 6x equals 60. X is going to equal 10. Now we got to plug it back in, right? A, B, C, D. Oh, just kidding. AB is 10, so that's going to be 25 if we plug it in. I'm doing this math in my head because there's voices in there. 10 times 3 is 30, minus 18, that's 12 for BC. And that's 10 plus 20, which is 30. Does that all add up to 67? Let's just double check that. Yeah, it does. Okay. Now we can go ahead and find the smallest to largest. So from BC, the smallest angle is going to be A. Then it's going to be from AB over to C. And then from B, it's going to be the largest side. Or sorry, this way, going this way, angle B. So we had to find out what each piece was. Okay, that was smallest to largest. All right, 24, find the missing measures of RN, NE, RE, and their midsegments of the triangle AOG. Let's do this. Okay, EN, let's plug it in, that's 22. By the way, these are mid-segments, okay? OG, the original gangster. 43. Okay? And RE, if there was an I, then it would be that store. Alright, that killed that joke. Okay. Alright. RA. RA is this segment here. Do you see how we have these two segments right here? Here and here. 1 second. 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. I don't know how to count. I mean, here we are, back from the video. So EN and OA, this is the mid segment right here. So this means that this is half the size of this. So this whole piece here is going to be actually 44. But remember, it hits the middle, so these each are actually also 22. So RA is 22 units long. GA, where's GA? GA is right over here. Again, we have 18. Highlighters are so helpful. So if 18's right here, we're going to double 18 for this whole segment over here. 18 times 2 is going to be 36. RN. RN is, oh, I'm running out of colors. Holy cow. Here we go. RN is right here. And it's going to be half of OG. So 43 divided by 2 is going to give us a decimal, unfortunately. So we're going to get, what, 21.5. Is that correct? Yeah. If I'm doing my math correctly, 21.5. All right, now we get to some angles. Remember, midsegments and their corresponding sides are parallel. So the pink lines are parallel. The purple lines are parallel. The green lines are, guess what? Parallel. So we have a lot of parallel action. Angle G is right here. Do you see how these are on the parallel? And OG is the perpendicular bisector. So 39 and angle G are actually corresponding angles. So they are congruent. Yeah. And then ERN. Do you see how we have alternate interior angles between the 39 and right up here? So those are also congruent. So this is by corresponding, as it's going off the page, and this one's by alternate interior angles. You see that Z going like that. Z. Okay. Last page. Okay. I'm actually not going to do this problem because I think this one's kind of like confusing and weird, so we're actually going to skip that problem. It's not going to be on the test, so we're going to go straight over to 26. And X and ABC, if BD is an angle bisector, that means these segments are congruent, so simply just what? Set them equal to each other. And I subtract that, add that, I get 17 over here and X over there. Am I done? Negatory Ghost Rider. I'm going to plug it back in. 6 times 17 plus 9, that's going to be a relatively large number. That's going to be a huge number, in fact. Holy Toledo. Batman. That's 111, which means that's 111. So that means the whole angle of ABC, which is this whole angle right here, is 222. Am I the only one that finds that baffling? Last time I checked, 180 looked like this. 122 would be like something like this. What the? This is definitely not to scale. Okay, that was a poorly set up question. But there it is, 222 degrees. That's ridiculous. 27, let's explain the rest of these. A median starts at a vertex, bro, and goes to the middle or midpoint of the opposite side. An altitude starts at a vertex and is perpendicular. I always forget the L, I don't know why. Perpendicular bisector is a line that is perpendicular to a side and also bisects. That's like so dumb. It's like it does what it says it is. Or that's really intelligent. I don't really know. An angle bisector starts at a vertex and bisects, that's right, the angle, because that's what it's literally called. Okay, and that's it. I'm just going to doodle for about half an hour.
Extra credit question mark?
Write walrus on the top of your test for extra credit. Narwhal.
Narwhal.
Eggo waffle. Cinder block.
You're very artistic. Is that a poop emoji? It's ice cream kind of.
It looks like fun.